Hey, what's up everybody? My name's John. Welcome back to Old Reading Farm. If you watched our last video on our tractor, which is a Kubota L4701, you might notice that it looks a little bit different this week, and that's because we got a backhoe. So one of the things that we wanted to do with our tractor is remove tree stumps. Because we have 40 acres here, it is all wooded. And while we are probably going to pay somebody to clear out a good amount of it, we still have some of it that we want to be able to do ourselves. And we don't want to just leave the stumps there. You know, we want to have either pasture or growing areas. So having stumps in the ground is not a good thing. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you kind of a brief overview of the controls as far as I know them. This is going to be my second time ever sitting on the back of this thing, so this is going to be a true beginner, not so much a tutorial, but more kind of just my experience with it so far. I can tell you that it is very complicated, and if you ever see an experienced operator working one of these things, either on the side of the road or on a construction site, you'll see they make it look so easy to dig stuff out. It's really hard. And maybe it's not so much difficulty as it is just complicated. So I'll go through the controls a little bit right now. So I think first what I'll do is give just kind of a quick overview of everything that's going on here. You'll see this right here, and on the other side right there are the stabilizer bars. So those all go down to make sure that when you're operating, you're in a stable condition. Because while the tractor itself is very heavy, this prevents it, these two stabilizer arms prevent it from like real side to side jarring. So you'll see this big one right here, that's called the boom. And so the boom goes, you know, tilts forward, tilts back, and it also turns. So this is 180 degrees. So this thing does turn all the way this way and all the way that way. And then the other thing over here you have is the dipper stick, or the dipper stick arm. And so that also does the same thing. It goes out and comes back. And then you have over here the bucket, obviously, and the bucket curls forward, the bucket also curls back. So even though you do have this whole complex range of motion here, you have two total control arms for it. And so basically you push this forward, the dipper stick goes forward, you pull it like this, it goes back, this curls the bucket one way, this curls the bucket the other way, and then same thing with this one. This controls the side to side, and this is forward and back for the boom. So all of the complex motions that you can perform with this backhoe are controlled with two levers. So while everything here is controlled with only two levers, that may make it seem like it's pretty simple. It actually gets pretty complicated because there's a lot of different motions that you have to do in order to make the backhoe do its thing. And the other thing that I found is that it's not as simple as like stick the bucket in the ground and pull. There's a ton of different ways that you can dig the ground out. You know, you can stick the bucket in and drag it forward, and then you can also drag it forward and curl the bucket with it. You can also sort of push the boom arm forward and get it kind of going under. There's so many different things that you need to do, or that you can do. And then the other thing is, you don't want to break any of this stuff. You know, this thing is a very expensive piece of metal, and the last thing on earth I want to do is break it. Now, while we do have the K-TAC insurance on it, we just don't want to break it. I don't want to break it. I will get into deep trouble with Catherine if I break it, so here's to hoping that I don't break it. So right now you can see I've been working on this stump here. And this is actually when the dealer first dropped off the tractor and it didn't have the backhoe on it. He was showing me how you could pull stumps up with using just the front end loader. That's why you see all that dirt up there. It wasn't that successful, but that's okay. Anyway, so I'm working on this one stump. I tried working on it last night. Didn't quite go so well. But again, I'm just being super careful, trying not to break it. So now I'm just gonna kind of go through and try to dig some stuff out. Hopefully, you guys will have some tips for me on how I can dig better and how I can be more efficient and just be better. You guys are always super helpful with that. So all that being said, let's get digging. All right, so as you can see, this stump is just as strong as the day I started. I did make some progress here. There were some really big rocks that I pulled out, but I mean I got like a good 4 foot, 5 foot hole down here, and this is just nothing, man. So I'm not sure what to do. I don't know if like up here is the problem or what, you know, or if I need to dig right here, or maybe it's because there's another stump over there, so I might just be spinning my tires here. But anyway, I got to get ready for dinner, so I'll have to hit this back up tomorrow. Okay, so I'm back here today. I got one last section here that I'm going to see if I can take care of and hopefully get this stump out. I really hope I can do it. Let's get to it. All right, so that was a deal. So, and also the camera died halfway through. So I got the stump out of the hole, but I found that getting the stump actually out of the hole was very difficult. So what I ended up doing was kind of cutting a ramp, or digging a ramp out of my hole so I could kind of cartwheel it out of there, because it just ended up being way too heavy to try to pull out. And you know, I think it's also that I'm not quite sure where I need to hook it up for it to be safe, because I used a chain and I hooked it up to the bucket, but then as I was driving, you know, I could see the dipper stick kind of sticking out, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna break this tractor over one stupid stump. So you can see here it is all out. And so, you know, I tried to use the bucket to lift it, but it was too heavy with all the dirt and the rocks in there. So I cut off a small piece of it, and then I guess I'm thinking, so here's another thing about this backhoe. So you can get a lot of different backhoes that attach to the 3-point system, which is back here. But with this one, you can see Kubota adds a subframe. So if you see right down here and it goes over there. So this like 1/2-inch plate of steel goes all the way from the back to right here. So this baby is nice and sturdy, because I guess what happens is when you have the backhoe on here, this weighs like 1,200 pounds. And so if you just have it sitting on the 3-point hitch, it puts a lot of stress on the frame and it can bend the frame. So that's why they have this super heavy duty subframe, to make sure that doesn't happen. So what I'm thinking is maybe next time I can just hook like right onto this subframe here, and, you know, not have to worry about bending any cylinders or anything like that. That actually would probably be fine. Anyway, so now that I got the stump out, you can see I have this gigantic hole here. So now it's time to fill it in. Whew. All right, looking pretty good. Battery's about to die, so I'm gonna make this quick. So I wasn't able to get it super duper clean, but I'd say that's pretty good from where it came from. I am exhausted, so I'm gonna go have some dinner and then go to sleep. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. We really appreciate it. If you have any backhoe tips and tricks, please leave them in the comments below. Be sure to check out our new videos on Mondays and Fridays. We go live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you're interested in tractor videos, check out this other one right here. Thanks for watching, guys.